Hey YouTube, today we're gonna install this steering wheel cover on the steering wheel of our 2001 Jeep Grand Cherokee. This is not Jeep video, but I'm just gonna install this on the Jeep. I've never done this before. This came from Wheelskins. I'll put a link in the description as to where I got this. And what it is just a leather covering that you wrap around the wheel and you stitch it together. And in the box there should be two colors in here. You could request the colors that you want. I used red and black, and it comes with needles so you could thread it through. And this here is the actual cover that goes around the steering wheel. You're supposed to stretch it out a little bit around the wheel, and there's some instructions as to how to do it. And how to loop it around and all that good stuff. I'm gonna use two colors and try to do like an X pattern on it, like a baseball pattern kinda. And let's see how it comes out. Hopefully there's enough light in here to see this. This is the steering wheel cover, and there's one stitch made in it. One stitch right here. So I'm gonna put that at the bottom of the steering wheel. I tried to put the steering wheel as straight forward as I possibly can. And you're supposed to stretch this thing over it. So I'm going to try to start by putting the bottom part with the stitch where I want it to be. And then just stretch it all the way around to fit around this thing nice and tight. This might be a little bit tough. Not as tough as I thought it would be. So, lining the stitches up so that we have equal number of stitches on either side. And I'll bring the camera in for a closer view. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before this spoke here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before this spoke here. Alright, this thing looks about where I want it to be. It seems to be stretched around, and we want to try to get the seam that's going to form kind of in the middle. With some much better lighting, you can see the steering wheel cover stretched over the steering wheel, and here you can see the holes that the stitching is going to go through, and you see the seam kind of halfway in between on the bottom, and this thing's gonna line up in the middle. I count holes and found that this one here is the center, so it's easy to mark, right? I just use one of the needles that came with the strings to mark it, and I'm gonna go ahead and thread the thread through and go ahead and start. I'm gonna join it in the middle and pull it through right here. The instructions say these things are really tough to pull, so it's best to wear some gloves. I have some shooting gloves. If these aren't padded enough, I'm gonna go ahead and try to see if I could use some cycling gloves. The instructions say to take all the string out, all the way out from the roller string. So that's what I'm doing. This is heavily waxed. If you feel it, I wish you could feel it, but if you could feel it, you'll feel that it's heavily waxed. So here's all the black. And I'm going to put all the red. I'm going to actually take the red and put it out the window. That way I'm not tying myself up. When I was a young fella, my mother tried to teach me to sew, but I never wanted to learn. So hopefully I could thread this needle and then thread the black one, put them each through the hole, and just tie a knot on them. Alright, got the red and the black threaded. Here's the one hole this way. And the thing is, when you just started, you have to use all the thread, or you have to thread all the thread through the holes. What I'm going to do is just get started, tie this off in a knot, and then put my gloves on. There's the end of the black. It said, the instruction just said to just tie a simple double knot on this. So that's what we're going to do, tie a simple double knot and just hide it up inside the leather. can't tell you how heavy wax this thing is. Let's try once again. Alright, that seemed to work. And there we go. That's going to be the first knot. What I'm going to do is just run each one in to the other hole just to get started, and I'll mark the center. So here's the black. We're just going to put it through once more, and once more back through the one in the back of it. And there's a lot of thread to deal with. There's thread going everywhere. I'm going to do the same thing with the red from the other side, just to get started here. It might be hard trying to find the holes, but and the instructions said no matter how hard you try, you can't do more than one stitch at a time. And what I'm finding is, because this thing is heavily waxed, it's gonna try to knot up on you all the time, like that. I don't know if you could see that, but it surely is trying to knot up on me. Right, here's the first one, and this little tail here, we're gonna hide it up in there. All right, so that's the first stitch. All right, and we're gonna go around clockwise from here into the back of the other one. I don't know if I need 2 gloves. I probably just need 1, because one's gonna have to help me find the hole on the back. Once I get a cadence going doing this, it should be easier rolling forward. So we want the red on top, so I gotta do the black first. Okay, here we go. We'll pull this one through. Okay, first one done. First stitch done. And I hope I just didn't tear that leather, but let's do stitch number 2. And again, because this thing is heavily waxed, it's gonna try to knot up on you. That's all right now. So this is what this stitch looks like close up. Maybe you could see it. Maybe you could see that there. That's what the stitch looks like. As we're getting a little bit closer to the spoke here, the steering wheel gets a little bit thicker. So you're gonna have to pull a little bit harder on this on this string. Oh man, and it does hurt a little bit. I switched to using cycling gloves because I really need to feel the hole in the back, and then I could use the pad in here to pull against the thread. It's really hard when you can't see the back side of this. So I'm almost to the spoke here, and it's becoming hard as I have to pull the leather tighter. So I think I'm gonna do one more cross like this here before starting to do the dummy stitches, and I'll show you what I mean by dummy stitches in just a second. So this one, something's holding it up. Oh, there's a knot right there. The problem with the heavily waxed thread is all the knots that it wants to make. So here we go. This is as far as I could go with stitching the crosses here before hitting this little spoke here. So I'm gonna do one more that's just like what I did up on the center here. Just go in and out a little bit to clamp this down, and then we're just gonna go dummy stitches on the outside here. Back. Just take it straight through. If I possibly could. And this way it comes a little bit taller, and then you fills down. So. And just keep in the same direction as the stitch was before. So we're just, it's going to be much harder to do it on the back side with the black because I can't see it, but we'll try our best. Oops, I don't think I was direction. Looks okay, well, like the stitches. Alright, and do the same thing on the back too. Back. Can pull that tight, and then I could start crossing it over again. So that don't look too bad. I just really don't like this fake stitch in here. I wish there was a way that I could have pulled this a little bit closer and tighter, but I don't think there was a way for me to actually do it and for it to actually still look good. So that's what we stuck with. Alright, we're just going to continue like this until we get to the next spoke. Alright, we had this spoke here. We're going to do the same thing. Just wrap it once, black and red. That way pulls it tight together. Alright, I'm pushing through on this. It's taking a while. It's taken me maybe an hour and a half to get from here all the way around, which is almost almost 75% the way. So I'm hoping another 15 minutes to finish this up. And hope we get it right up. Sorry. I turned the wheel over so it's easier for me to see at the bottom, and it's easier for me to hold and pull it tight. And we only have like 10 holes left to go. Alright, I'm hoping you could see this. I'm losing daylight. Getting to the end here. It's one, maybe two stitches left. Alright, so here's where it becomes tricky. The instructions say to tie this off, make a double knot, and then stick it in that little hole. If you could see it right here. I'm just going to cut some, I don't know how much to cut off of this, but I'm just going to cut maybe this much. Enough to just tie it, and then I'll stick it in there and then cut the excess off. This is nice and tight too. Said to just do a couple knots. Maybe we cut this off here now. Here's the final product with the steering wheel wrapped. Here's what the stitching looks like close up. It's not too bad. It's our first time doing something like this, and I think it turned out pretty well. I hope you like this video. If you do, hit the subscribe button, give a thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next video. God bless you.